and welcome to Nerd to Nerd on RPTV.
Each episode we'll be going through a couple of segments and we'll be showcasing different topics.
Our first segment today will be the versus debate. Particularly today, it will be Star Wars versus Star Trek. But clearly Star Trek's going to win.
I will be debating that Star Wars is better. We'll be having a neutral judge to decide the winner as if we need more competition.
Let's begin. So let's introduce it first. Each person will get 1 minute to answer the question, and there are 4 questions. So let's get started. Sam, here's your timer.
The first question is lightsabers versus phasers. Lightsaber is a combination between a sword and an indestructible laser. In the first episode of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn demonstrates that a lightsaber can go into a door that's at least 1 meter thick and cut through it in a matter of minutes. As well, the lightsaber can deflect blasters, which are short bursts of lasers, and instead of a phaser, which is just a gun where you do boop, 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 lightsaber is a sword, so you can do boop, 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 boop. It's pretty dang cool.
Well said. So, I think a phaser is a lot better. A lightsaber is a sword, it's a minimal length. A phaser can work like one, except you can hold a button and it can go for any amount of time and almost any distance. And some people watching might say, oh, a lightsaber can just deflect a phaser. Well, even if this is the case, let's say I'm standing far away from someone with a lightsaber and someone with a phaser, and let's say just by off chance, I'm shooting a long beam and they deflect it. Well, I could just kind of swivel my phaser around because I doubt that they can deflect that at that speed and moving that around that fast.
Jedis have fast reflexes. They could dodge it easily.
Oh, well, maybe so, even so. But it's just a lightsaber versus phaser, so maybe it's not a Jedi.
Okay.
Who knows? Anyway, that's my point. So our second question is Wookies versus Klingons. Klingons, unlike Wookies, have a system based around honor, so they don't mind sacrificing themselves in a battle. In a duel between a Wookiee and a Klingon would definitely win. They've got either laser cannons or giant swords called datlaks, which in one episode of TNG were described as able to decapitate in one swoop. Enough said.
Okay. Wookiees are tall, they're mean, and yes, they are pretty dang cool. In the Revenge of the Sith, the last episode of the first saga, we visit Kashyyyk, which is their home planet, and you see there are hundreds and hundreds of Wookiees. In that episode, we were able to see their lifestyle, which is pretty close to native Indians, which is pretty cool because they're very one with the earth. But yes, their system is based upon honor, bravery, and some pretty sick fighting skills. Now, Chewbacca, which is the only Wookiee you see in the last 3 episodes of Star Wars saga, which is in the New Hope, we first see him, and he encapsulates all the Wookiees. And as you said earlier, which Klingons are, yes, they are warriors, but Wookiees are able to live longer because they have 400 years on top of Klingon. So they have more experience.
Right on time. So, moving on to our next question, I guess you should introduce it, I guess.
Millennium Falcon versus the Enterprise, the original Enterprise.
So, Millennium Falcon is a smaller ship, and maybe they got stuck on a moon and they got out because they were smaller, but the Enterprise has got full living space. It's got view screens, it's got holodecks, it's got replicators, which I'll get to later. It's got transporters, it's got everything you would need to live. The Millennium Falcon is, as I said in the movie, fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Still not nearly as fast as the Enterprise.
Okay. Now, the Millennium Falcon is the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy for good reason. It actually, in its past, was a smuggling ship, which it was used to smuggle against the Galactic Empire, which is at this time overpowering. So because it's the fastest ship in the galaxy, one of the smallest, it was able to get inside the Death Star, which is a moon-shaped ship that has the ability to destroy worlds, as it did in New Hope when it destroyed Alderaan. So because of its size and quickness, it was able to destroy the one asset that the Galactic Empire had to scare other people that live on planets. So, yeah, they were able to kill it. Good on them.
Though the thing is, at least the original Enterprise, it's almost the size of the Death Star in its own. It would just pull up, photon torpedo.
It's like a whale going against a dolphin. A dolphin is so much quicker and smarter than a whale. Okay, the next question, and the last. The Force versus replicators. You may begin.
All right. Force might be pretty cool to do things, move objects, but replicators, all right, let's say from the topic of impressing your friends, it would be cool to say, oh, look, I can move that. However, replicators, you can give them whatever you want. I think that would be a little cooler to press a couple buttons and create any phone, any food, any toy, anything.
Tomato soup.
There are 14 varieties of tomato soup available from this replicator, with rice, with vegetables, Bolian style, with pasta, with
Plain.
Specify hot or chilled.
Hot. Hot, plain tomato soup.
With the limitation of advanced technology, it can't replicate itself. However, yeah, maybe the Force might be good for helping the world. However, I think it would be more useful to help the world by replicating food or money, well, not money, but or anything for anyone.
Okay, the Force. I will explain this first. It is an energy that moves for all things. It moves for humans, it moves through items, anything. And Jedi are able to manipulate it and move things. They're able to connect with things. So that being said, they're able to move ships, people, animals, anything. They're also able to have quicker reflexes, and they're also able to use Jedi mind trick. So, if you were a weak-minded person, I'd be able to control you for a short period of time, which, in my case, is pretty cool. Star Wars wins. Also, one more thing, replicators are, yes, they are able to replicate things, but that's, like, to replicate things would be to use them in selfish ways. The Force is mainly to serve and help other people, even though you can, make more food. So, yeah.
Well, what you were saying, with the Force, it would be, with my examples of replicators, they were in kind of selfish ways. However, the Force can only be used by select people, the Jedi. The replicators, if they were given to everyone, could help anyone in the galaxy. Maybe the Force could save an individual person from something or other, or move other things around. However, replicators, they could end world hunger. They could do anything like that. You can replicate anything. You probably replicate a Jedi. No, I'm just kidding. You can't replicate things that compact, or not compact.
But
yeah.
Imagine if an evil person got a hold of a replicator. That would be bad. They could just, replicate atomic bombs for all I know.
The thing is, there's settings on it that you can't replicate explosives.
Of course there is. So the replicators, as I said, are probably more selfish. And as you said, that the Force can only be used by a certain number of people. Well, the certain number of people have the best interests of other people. They're very selfless in their ways of using the Force. And we're done. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to Nerd. This is on RPTV.
Our next segment is going to be App Attack. Stay tuned. But now for the results. Who do you think won?
A tie?
Oh. Welcome back to Nerd. Now for a segment called App Attack, where we review different apps or app updates. Today's app is going to be Minecraft Pocket Edition, specifically the 0.9.0 update. Now, many of you may remember this game as the old annoying fiddly thing that you could barely play because the PC version was a lot different. Well, with this update, it changes it all.
So for the people who don't know what Minecraft is, what exactly is it?
Well, Minecraft is a game where you're placed into a randomly generated world made up of 3D textured cubes, otherwise known as blocks. Now, with these blocks, what you're meant to do is either chop down trees, go mining, or do whatever you need to gather them and gather other types of resources within them. Once you've done this, you can put them back into the world and create cities, towns, countries, universes, anything. And yeah.
So Aidan, what is your favorite part of Minecraft?
I would have to say the building. On the Pocket Edition itself, it is a bit fiddly still. However, I think they're going to fix that in further versions. So I think the building itself is one of the best parts.
So for people who are kind of wondering, is it worth it? Would you say it's worth the time and the effort?
I absolutely would. Many people think that Minecraft is just a boring, addictive game that people play, and on the iPod it is true, it's a very expensive app, it's $7. But I still recommend it, absolutely. The free version just isn't the same.
So on the downside, what are the aspects of the game you do not like?
One thing on the iPod version itself is that it's missing things from the computer version. A very few things in this new update, but it's still missing, for those of you who know the game, it's still missing redstone, and it's still missing the nether and the end, which are the two different dimensions.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give it?
I would give it a 4.5 for absolute positive, and I think they're going to be making it better in future updates.
Well, thank you very much, Aidan. This has been App Attack.
So guys, let's get to the exclusive gameplay. So, from the start screen, you don't see too much different, but as I get into the world itself, you'll notice that it has actual different types of terrain. In past, what would have happened is it would have been a completely flat world with maybe a few hills and trees. But now you can see, over here are meadows, over here are savannas, and over here is a desert. There are many more different types of biomes, which is what the different areas of land are called. However, these were the one place I could find where 3 different types converged. Another thing you'll notice in the update is that it has a whole bunch of new blocks. Before, there was maybe from here down. And also, you can find a whole bunch of new ores that you can mine out underground. They're all listed here. There are more plants and dyes as well. So yeah. For anyone who plays Minecraft on the computer but isn't familiar with this update, essentially all that's happened is it's exactly like Minecraft 1.8 on the computer. So guys, see you again next time, and bye for now.
Bye for now!